Valorant stream here. My name is Rare Adam. I am going to be the desk host for today as we've got ourselves a nice little TriCast going on here. Alongside me for the journey is going to be Fundy and Jobin as always. We can show them. Yeah, we can show them now. They're still here. They're still here with me. But nonetheless, we've got ourselves Saints Valorant here versus Boise State in what is set to be an interesting matchup here. Round of 16 matchup in the NACE Starleague. Going to be an interesting one. I'm still off screen, but nonetheless, you guys can break down the matchup a little bit here. How are you guys doing tonight?
No, we're doing good. I guess I'll get a quick things going. You know, it's a Jobin and Fundy. There's the overlay. Now we got things going together. So yeah, NACE, round of 16 matchup against Boise State. This is a game the Saints, on paper, should definitely be favored. I think they should be favored to win a 2-0, but it is the playoffs. Boise State, you know, they played in a bunch of CVAL. They played in a lot of these other tournaments. So they're a team. They've gotten some good rub. They played some high-level matches, but ultimately comes down to who's going to win tonight.
That's the thing, right? And yeah, you can take a look at the stats in the past, but this is playoffs, right? This is deep in the season. We're going to see teams. This is when they're going to start pulling the stuff out, pulling out the sauce that they've been cooking up throughout the season, to say the least. We should have maps for today as well for our best of three here. If we can take a look at those in a sec. But overall, coming into this one, all right, let's check these maps out. Okay.
That's the most HD Pearl picture I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that looks edited.
That's crazy.
That's like, they threw the color vibrance
that's
up to
crazy,
max on that one. But
like,
it's when you get like the final kill with the Spectrum there, and it's like, it becomes a rave on Pearl. But we've got to send Pearl into Icebox. So that's only one of three of the collegiate special there for us. No Haven, no split for us today. So at least map 2, we get a fresh map. How long has it been since we've seen Pearl on any kind of collegiate broadcast?
Me and Adam did it a good amount for CVAL, but on Saints, I don't think we've seen it in over a month.
It's been a while. You know, we've kind of just been, let's say spoiled by Haven Ascent split
milk,
for
maybe.
Every single best of 3 we've just about had here. You know, the occasional fracture thrown in, to say the least, but yeah. A fresh map setup today, and should be a good best of 3 up ahead of us. Realistically, I could see this going to map 3.
I could too. I think, Adam, I know especially because Icebox, right? You know, like the Harbor Viper meta is kind of a thing on Icebox, but Pearl, I know Ascent and Pearl, you know, the maps, teams should be familiar with these maps by now. Ascent especially, it's kind of, you know, you just nod off and fall asleep saying at the same time comp. But are you expecting to see, you know, maybe we'll see Caillou's Gecko on a set? Are you expecting to see anything different or anything, you know, maybe something exciting, hopefully?
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting to sort of figure out exactly where everything goes. It's so strange. I see them over here, and then I'm just like, oh, man, there I am on the big screen. But yeah, it's interesting to see what teams will pick up on Pearl especially. There's been sort of a shift towards Phoenix as being a main duelist on Pearl, which is really interesting because it's a map that doesn't really have the set meta still. There's a lot of shifting gears when it comes to Pearl, especially, you know, talking to the guys beforehand, they're joking about, they're just going to make like the tic-tac-toe board there with all the walls. It might just go 5 duelists if they so desire. Of course, it is playoffs time, though, and they do want to perform well, especially with CVAL right around the corner. And we do need to talk a little bit about the implications of that. Boise not making it to the top 8 in the West. Saints going to be doing it pretty well for themselves, getting into that top 8. And of course, with those points breakdowns that we did a couple weeks ago, we sort of see how the season can continue for the Saints, and it is very important for them to continue their strong performances, to continue that trend of winning, because, you know, once it gets down to this final tournament, you just have to get as far as possible. But it seems as if we are going to be heading into agent select here, and I'm interested to see what gets picked up on Ascent, because it's very likely just going to be the same 6 agents we've always seen.
Yeah, Josh, we're going to see the same 5 or what?
I mean, at least we're going to see the Gecko, most likely. We know we've seen Caillou from the Saints playing a whole ton of Gecko on this Ascent map. I'm looking more towards map 2 and 3, Pearl and Icebox, because since the release of Gecko, since, like, I guess the activation of Gecko in all of these leagues, we haven't seen, at least I personally have yet to see the Saints play these 2 maps. We've had Icebox in the pool before as map 3. They have yet to make it to that map 3 when we've had them here on the broadcast. So I'm very excited to see what kind of comps have, you know, how the comps have changed going into this newer meta with all of these agent changes, all these balance changes. You know, Adam, he talked about Phoenix there, which is, you know, Phoenix is one of those characters that kind of like in the meta, out of the meta, you know, based on 1 or 2 different, you know, value changes on his damage ticks, on his flashes, whatever it may be. But overall here on Ascent, I mean, look at the comp. Any surprises here, Jobin?
Actually, no. We're going to see that the exact same Ascent comp from the side of Boise State. The Saints, they're going to insert that Gecko. That's what they've been doing to this typical 5 Ascent stack. They've been bringing in that Gecko. I did hear Caillou say on stage jokingly, somebody else has to play Wingman. I can't stand to watch the war crimes against Lil Bro anymore, just jokingly. But he's been getting very familiar with Gecko. He did say they did have a couple juicy lineups or a couple juicy little maybe secrets to show. So this is a comp they've definitely been working on since Gecko has come out, because the second he was available in NECC and NACE, Caillou immediately picked him up. They've been finding value with it. Ascent is probably his best or second best map. So this map, we're going to see a lot of the same, but like you said, that map 2 and that map 3 is where my ears are getting perked up.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what other teams are going to start to pick up Gecko. It was a question that we've had a lot across, collegiate Valorant as a whole, which teams are going to pick it up, how strong the agent actually is. Of course, with it still being a relatively new agent, you need to find that space within your comp to sort of open up the Gecko as an option. In this situation, we've seen Ascent from the Saints a bunch of times, and that is why we're seeing this Gecko become a little bit of a recurring trend in that regard. Nonetheless, into map 1 we go here. Boise on the attacking side with that tried and true comp. We've seen this so many times. Nothing special, but of course, interesting lineup already to push forward with that Wingman, try and get a little bit more info.
Spots one out. Dizzy heads out of the garage here as well. That should be one down. It was actually the Sova from the side of Boise to pick up first blood, though. Sky's here on this jet, picking up a few from Tiles, and the trades back and forth leave it as a 2v2. Health advantage going to be heading over to Boise State after the start of this round, but Saints can kind of just move back, hunker back down onto their sites, as they know both these players stacked up around Tiles, now moving towards mid, 4-tapping. Gets a little bit of info there. Some pot shots toward mid. Don't necessarily land with that classic, as a little too much bloom on that one.
Yeah, we're going to see a couple low health bars here. The overlays are going to be flipped, so St. Clair is actually on that green side right now. Just a little bit of a heads up there for people. We're going to have 4-tapping, and I believe it's going to be Seth left alive there on that KJ. So, low health bars across 3 of these members left standing. Saints right now trying to rotate back over to this B site, trying to see if they can catch any of these lurks up through mid. Going to be this B stack toward garage, though. Looks like Skies and their teammate right now. Maybe trying to think about a rotation here. They still have 35 seconds, so they got some time to plot, to kind of theorize what they want to go for. But this is a remarkably slow pistol round.
Yeah, I think especially considering, if you're gonna try and plant that spike, you've got to try and make the move now. But they're just playing so passively here. 20 seconds left. There's not going to be a whole lot of time to develop any plays. They're just going to start pitching guns off the. I don't know what that was. Just pitch it off. But 12 seconds left. You've got to make a move now.
They're running into this site. Sky is getting ready to move on here, but that's the health advantage, and that's what's going to happen when there's a classic, there's a ghost pointed at you. They ran out of time. Those last 2 players from Boise just couldn't make it on to that B site. 4-tapping and Gub clean up the pistol round. 1-0 for the Saints currently as they move in towards this next one. There's the force I'm looking for. 4-tapping, Phantom in hand. We got M's on the Sova. Nice little Odin, too. Nice little Odin.
Just the Ares. He doesn't have the full evolution quite yet.
Ares.
Doesn't have the facilities for the Odin just yet, but he is going to have that Ares. So basically, the B site is going to be essentially rendered offline, at least for 3 or 4 seconds while he goes for this wall spray. Obviously, Boise State, you're going to just keep those pistols. One member over on that Sheriff. See if you can lurk, take one of these weapons away. Sushi is going to get spotted out, jump back to safety, but it's all a bait and switch there. Him and Caillou, good for a couple of kills there. J-Bag is going to find one back. So, 4v3 advantage, couple seconds in here.
Yeah, really smart opening here to just sort of take their time, take their angles, and I like to see how aggressive Sushi always likes to play. It's a common trend with Sushi to sort of take these aggressive angles on the defensive side. Doesn't like to play back, doesn't really seem like a very defensive-minded player, but sometimes the best defense is that good offense as well. Nonetheless, you can see Boise on this sort of save round. They're trying to group up a little bit more, get everything sort of sorted out for themselves. Skies with this Sheriff needs to be careful. Takes a little bit of damage on the way in, but at the very least, their execute is going significantly quicker, at least from previous rounds.
Yeah, 50 seconds left to play with, but Sushi and one other over here. There's Gub coming from A main there, and that's going to be the buy. The force of the second round just going all the way over to the Saints. You drop one player on a trade right at the starting of that round. That's really all you lose throughout it. Caillou, he's just going to buy up another Sheriff. Everyone gets to keep these weapons from the last round. Now it's Boise State's first buy, Adam.
Oh, Caillou no Marshall. You know, usually can offer the Marshal over the Sheriff.
That's
but,
true.
Yeah, gonna keep the pistol this time. And Boise State now, this is a round I'm looking for them to have some kind of formulated, calculated attack. The last couple rounds, you know, round 1 just took too long to kind of get anything going. Round 2, you had pistols. Not really much you can do. Now, though, you're gonna have that full rifle. Light armor on a few members, though, because of that utility purchase the round before. But B-Stack is there for the time being. But there is Killjoy utility, and they have the Sova playing Skies. A couple of shots there, too.
Yeah, a little bit of damage. Nice little CS bundle in the hands of Skies there as well.
They're cool skins.
They are
honestly,
very good
they're
looking.
Cool.
They're nice looking. Don't get me wrong.
Counter-Strike, cool game.
Just you know, it's an interesting take for such a
after
cartoony
CS2
game,
comes out too.
Yeah,
interesting.
Interesting
timing. To say the least.
Yeah. Alas, you can see slowly but surely trying to push forward onto this B site. Not really developing a whole lot. Once again, these executes have been rather slow coming through from Boise. J-Bag and all of them going to link up for a couple of kills for themselves. At the very least, they're going to get this spike down. But once again, this is the full buy round for the side of Boise. Saints just trying to get what they can, get some guns out of the inventory, and Sushi seems to be the next one on the agenda. Daimyo going to make sure that Sushi is served up on a platter.
Caillou, he tries to find those shots with the Sheriff at the end, but that's what happens when you're facing full Vandals. They take those bonuses from those last few rounds, get pretty well full rifles up here. Now we've got the Odin actually in hand. Nice big brother to that Ares.
Yeah, the Odin, it's a fun weapon to play against, you know. It's very, very fun when you cannot walk across B because there is 7,000 bullets flying through the wall at Mach speed, but actually double Odin, so 4 tapping and M's going to make sure either side of the map, or I guess both of them are going to be over on that B side. So
this is devastating if they move towards B.
B is the wood chipper. A is a little bit easier, but the Saints are trying to take a lot of space up there toward main, so they're going to see if they can maybe try to catch one of these guns of Boise State. Both teams, though, going to be on that full buy this round, so going to be a little bit more even. Boise was lucky to get that flawless and keep everything last round.
See, and you take a look at A main, you think it looks like an easier target at the starting of this, but you remember every single round that the Saints have played this same round start here over towards A main. Sushi spots one out, he shoots him through the wall, but a little bit too far forward. Aldum takes him down. That's going to be first blood of the round. Sky's moving up deep into mid here, shuts down 4 tapping, 1 Odin, down 2 players up. Boise starting off this round hot.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of sort of finding their picks, finding the timing on everything. And the main issue with that Odin, you don't really have that same 1v1 threat in a lot of situations. You have to hold those off angles. And we saw that around B site. But now they believe they've taken out the one Odin that's there. This is where Ems can get a whole lot of value with a big old minigun. Gonna try and say hello to his little friend there, but forced back out from that util once again as this B execute gonna be effectively painless for the side of Boise as the rest of the team trying to rotate over to help out Ems.
Yeah, Ems is probably not gonna decide to challenge this one until he gets a couple more teammates, but the plant, you know, gets faked out there for a half second, so I guess it gives the Saints 3 more seconds to rotate, but they're now getting all stacked up toward the backside of B here. Looks like Boise has a pretty good setup here on this site though for the retake. Ems gonna get chipped down to 44 damage too, so already gonna be at a disadvantage numbers and health-wise, so that is Caillou. Nice swing, is gonna find the headshot over onto Sky, so trying to even things up just a little bit more at Gub. Trying to get the spray down through that wall. Caillou gonna walk his way over toward Boathouse now. 3 members all stacked up here. That's gonna be Caillou down. Gub is gonna trade him back though. 3v2 for the Saints. Ems gonna get tagged up by the recon dart. Straight through the wall. Oh, check his PC. Ems turn and burn. Fires it through the wall and fires it through 2 different Boise members. There is not much time left and Ems is still going for the spray. Gub is gonna start that defuse. There is still a Killjoy lurking in the wings though. 1 is gonna be found and that's gonna be 2 found and Boise State clutches up when it was close.
Wow, what a round coming through. I mean, that spray down through the wall, the Odin classic, just able to cut through Boathouse, but at the very end, Rarena able to sort of turn that corner, find the angle at the right time. Yes, everyone ends up going down from Boise in that round, but they've got that economical advantage, and we've talked about this so often, that the economy of Valorant is so fickle sometimes, but that loss bonus is going to start to build up. I'm curious to see what they opt to go for in terms of their buy now, as they continue to mount it up a little bit more. That's really where the question mark lies. You know, this is a save round, just trying to get as many guns out of the inventory as possible. Nonetheless, Boise going back to their old tricks. They've been playing default, feels like, for each of these first 5 rounds. It's worked out half the time.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty well for them. They're, especially Skies here, moving up mid last round. You take out the alarm bot, you continue pushing forward, shut down 4 tapping. That's the Killjoy. That's a lot of that defensive utility shutdown from the Saints as well, and they get to make their mark B move forward. And a beautiful final play there from the Killjoy on the side of Boise, and now the Saints are going to play this round so slow, and there's really no other option for them. You're really playing off of pray they move A, pray this thrash is massive right now. And Ooh. You know, you partner it up with that paranoia, it could be huge here. 0 point not going to hit anyone.
Yeah, I don't think they got any tags with Thrash. Otherwise, they probably would have sent a couple more members down. So, Boise is going to escape the mosh pit there to zone them off for just a second, but they're going to be able to walk away here. There is still 40 seconds left on the clock. Every avenue to get down the map here still going to be open. That alarm bot with 4 tapping back near Pizza and Market. The turret going to be watching over on that B side. Boise State right now trying to gather a little bit more information. They do have a Hunter's Fury, which they'll probably keep for the lockdown, but they could potentially try to use that one to zone. But the Saints are going to be at that weapon disadvantage. So Boise should have an easy time taking through, and Skies gets the first one.
Sushi low on sight, shut down. Caillou with the share of clicking heads. He finds 3 before being shut down by the Killjoy. 4 tapping, 2v1 for the Saints right now. He's able to shut down his imposter on the other side. Daimo about to peek into 2. There's Ems, keeps spraying. Ems finds that headshot and finishes it off. Daimo 1 bullet away from that one, but it's Ems to find the clutch.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play by Ems. Caillou as well. The share of shots were on point for those boys. That is a thrifty on 16 HP. A weapon upgrade for Ems as well. There's a get the Counter-Strike weapons nice and early, but that is a big round for the Saints. Boise State does have the money to, buy back at least a decent amount here, but you were on your eco. You were expecting to lose. You only had to burn 1 ultimate, and Caillou got 3 kills after, so he's already halfway back to Thrash anyway. So barely an investment at all from the Saints, and now this round is going to be looking a lot better for you.
Yeah, fantastic stuff coming through from the Saints in that round to sort of regain momentum in a sense. And yes, Boise is able to find a full buy the opposite way, but now you see a Bulldog coming through. The knives are going to be forced out from Skies. It's not going to be the cleanest of full buys. I still want to call it a buy in that situation. As you can see, Skies moving forward, but Sushi wins. The gun is better than the knife in that situation. Sushi finds another one for themselves. As Boise, they get a little bit impatient this time around, and they get punished for it in time.
That Bulldog skin's actually awesome, not gonna lie.
Awesome. Oh,
that's actually wicked.
That one looks more like a Siege skin to me, if anything.
It's actually true. It looks like the F2 from
Twitch.
Like
Twitch, yeah, Twitch's weapon there. Overall, though, 2-player advantage here for the Saints. 2 early picks on key members for the side of Boise, too. That's the lockdown taken away and the Bladestorm completely shut down. Yes, of course, lockdown not used, going to be there for future rounds, but as of right now, Boise doesn't have much of an option except for finding picks like that. Aldum, perfect timing, and same with Daimyo, even out the numbers, individual picks each side of the map. TP back over towards B here, and now 4-tapping Lone Survivor towards B.
Might have gotten away from that duck down, but now no util can be burned. It's all down to 4-tapping's aim. JMA going to be there at the right place, right time. And now Sushi and Caillou going to be the ones to try and reclaim this site. Spike planted. That smoke is not... It's an interesting one, that's for sure.
It is a smoke that got placed by an Omen. Wingman is going to get sent out. Caillou going to send in low bro as bait. Dizzy is going to follow over the top there. He's going to go for the spray, though. The Bodo spray is going to be good. He's good for 1 there. Sushi's got 3 on the round. 5 HP on Caillou. He is stuck in this 1v2. This is a very, very tricky task here for the Gecko. Caillou doing all he can to try to bait out one of these frags. But 5 HP, about 10 seconds left in the round. That is when you call for the save. He's going to take him and all his little buddies. He's going to get out of dodge. He's going to take that Vandal into the next round as we go to a tie game.
I mean, can you really bank on 2 1-taps is the question. With only 5 bullets left in the clip towards the end there, you gotta call for the save. Eventually, even this out 3-3. Boise's gonna take this second attacking round, or this third attacking round for themselves there. Omen actually gonna,
he's gonna
drop a rifle.
Yeah, that feels like a mistake, especially when your money isn't, that healthy.
Way too much.
Interesting end of the round there for Boise, but nonetheless keeping pace with the Saints thus far. And of course this is this is more of one even map in terms of which side is sort of preferable in that situation, but we're gonna have to see what they can sort of pull through on the opposite side, because there's nothing that's been really convincing from either one of these teams. They haven't really been able to get on that roll in the same way that you would expect some of these teams to do, showing how even these teams are in terms of their skill as well.
Yeah, we're gonna see a bit of an eco coming through for St. Clair. Sushi, though, nothing economic about these knives. He is trying to go find an early pick, maybe try to steal away one of those rifles. We're gonna see Boise State Skies going for that early dash onto site there behind Generator. Alarm bot and the Nanos in the corner. That is gonna be a lot of tick damage. Yeah, LDM, or Aldum taking a ton of damage there. Is gonna find the plant at least. Hunter's Fury, though, is gonna come through. It's gonna stop the plant too. Ems with a target right between the eyes over onto Aldum. That is Sova v Sova. Plant still hasn't gone down yet. Okay, that new KJ UI, by the way, is garbage.
Great. I think it looks good.
The yellow rings, you like that?
I like that.
Can't see anything.
Very clear. Sushi is very clear about finding Daimyo. Caio, but Skies and JBag able to bring it back. Caillou able to trade it once again. There's one member detained. It is the last member remaining. You can see 4Tappen's just going to be protecting that spike. Rowena coming through garden here. Needs to be careful of these angles. There's so many different ways the Saints could be sitting. Not a whole lot of time. A couple shots come down. 4Tappen gonna be taken down. Rowena going through, but Caillou with the little friend. Shorty comes to the rescue. It's the 4th round for St. Clair.
Okay, we have to stop this and go back. You guys really like that massive yellow overlay when Killjoy's locked down?
Okay, if I was playing, I think it would be a little much, but as an observer, I think it looks fantastic.
Observer-wise, it's great.
It's very stylistic in my opinion. You know, KJ, you know, she's got that yellow theme and all.
It was just funny.
It's kind of robotic.
It's garbage instantly. We actually kind of like it.
All it was before was just a big red thing that said enemy lockdown. Like, is that not enough? I don't know. In my opinion, I think it looks good. I think it fits kind of the UI style. You know, it's just moving the game forward in that sense, I guess.
You need like the girl from the ring to like climb out of the TV and grab you to know that KJ's lockdown is supposed to get busted.
Yes. Listen, all of us here
to come get you.
All of us here have terrible aim. We are all very okay at this game.
Yeah.
Sushi's very good at this game as he finds Skies. That's how you do it. You know what? We just gotta follow Sushi. He doesn't care about the UI. He cares about hitting heads, and that's exactly what he does to open up the round. As does Gub with that Phantom as well. A little bit of a Phantom moment. Nonetheless, Daimyo and the rest of the crew just taking so much damage. Wingman's gonna pop out as well. Aldum in trouble. Gonna get shot in the back of the head there. Very clean round from the Saints that time around.
Is it just me, or does Gecko just seem like he has like so much utility? So much. That Wingman, the concussion is so much. You can use it to plant, you can use it as an info tool. You've got a Molly that straight up just kills people. And you have Dizzy there, which can just absolutely overtake a site. I feel like even without the ultimate, you just get so much value out of the character, and I'm enjoying the picks coming out so far.
And the best thing with Gecko, I think the best glowing review or the best part about him, I guess I heard, is that you can recast his abilities. Because usually if you have playing Reyna, you got 2 flashes. Once the 2 flashes are gone, they're gone. Phoenix, 2 flashes. Once they're gone, they're gone. Sky, all the same for the rest. Dizzy, you can pick him up, throw it, pick it up, throw it. You can same with Wingman, you can use it for so many different things. So it's just that being able to recast. Basically, it's like, right, imagine in CS if you could just have 9 flash grenades, just pop flash every single corner. You can clear every single part of the map, just like Sushi has been clearing Skies in these early Jet duels too.
Yeah, really good to see. You know, that's sort of the 1v1 you always want to look at, and Sushi's always going to be that one to take that first contact. Sky's just not able to hit the head in return a lot of those times. Nonetheless, you can see the slow push forward. Rowena trying to just lurk around, find something a little bit cheeky, but on that opposite side of the wall is Ems with a big ol' Odin potentially having the answer to any sort of pushes. Granted, as it stands right now, a lot of that Boise aggression is towards the A site. They don't really know what to do in this situation, and we've seen them get sort of caught out by these slower plays before.
Yeah, sometimes they almost just run out of the time towards the end, but at the same time, you find yourself onto the site. You find the plant while the Saints are split up like this, and they've had good success on those post plants. This is going to be it. They burn the lockdown so early in this round, however, that now you're kind of just back to defaults, and you're working really with what you got through the smoke. Ems finds one with the dark cover. J-Bag takes him down. Gub towards the other side as well. He's going to be playing that one in Boathouse. It's all up to Daimyo to take down 4Tappen. No time to work with. This Killjoy, last one alive. That's going to be another one heading over to the Saints. 6-3.5 right now. Saves coming out from Boise.
And I understand the default play from Boise. It's usually the smart thing to do. You try to gather some intelligence, try to get some info, but they've just been a little bit too slow to get some of these rounds going. They've had a decent attack, even though Skies has lost that 1v1 Jet duel a couple times. They usually find that kill back. They've been in a lot of 4v4, 3v4, but they never really get that good push onto site. And then when there's 20 seconds left, Ems is going to get some info from those footsteps. He's going to fire that recon dart, and you know the rest with that Odin. Finds that first spray, and it's just so difficult to run into an Odin, to run into a Sova with no time left on the clock, realizing you have 2 to 3 angles to check. And now, it was once a 3-3 game has already spiraled to 6-3, and St. Clair is looking to try to snowball this one some more.
It's all about the momentum at the end of the day as well. It just feels as if they've solved what Boise want to do. A lot of their pushes have been, as you mentioned, late, a little bit disorganized, not quite on the same page, and unfortunately that is falling away from their favor. This time around, though, they want to just execute. They want to execute hard with this null command, and that's exactly what they're doing. Skies with the Stinger, going to look for something, but Gub already here, holding the line, will get taken down by Rowena.
I mean, mean, even with that revive online from the KO, you're still finding a pick going into there. It's still going to be realistically around 4v4 on this site. The res is going to come through back to 5v5, but Caillou up from heaven, he's able to find one. Toss out Dizzy there. Dizzy spots out a few as well. The spike now down on site. One playing under, two playing around Jenny, and a fourth on that rotation towards A main. Sushi finds the one. That's going to be Thrash. Takes down the one under. That's a detain. The shot's going to be good, but it's a triple for Killjoy before Caillou responds. That's going to be the 7th round for the Saints. Looking possibly on track for a 9-3 half here.
Yeah, the way the game has started to go, especially considering they definitely have momentum. They've been doing a really good job of only using 1 to 2 ultimates. They survived the early null command from Boise State. They set themselves up, and they do a very good job to close that round down. Now we're going to see the buys once again, though. Boise State rifles will be back in the fold here. The Saints, they're going to continue with the same old Odin. We are going to see Sushi finally getting the operator. So, you know, Jet usually likes to op mid on Ascent. You can still op on the over on the A site or the B site. I guess, you know, Sushi has been all over the map with this gun. He has proven time and time again. So, has the Blade Storm in the back pocket too. The Saints right now, though, you know, a couple rounds off trying to get that 9-3 half. I'd expect these ultimates to start to come through.
Yeah, another major thing is just the loss bonus has stacked up as well, to the point where, you know, Boise are able to full buy again in the next round. Granted, with light shields, not with everything that they potentially want. Nonetheless, you can see them just trying to find a little bit momentum. They want to kill that momentum. It's been 4 rounds in a row for the side of Boise. And this guy's just exploring up through mid. Granted, this is fully detected out by that alarm bot. Will they know how many members are here? That's the real question as they continue this push forward.
And Pop, is he going to be able to find that shot? Wallbang over onto 4 tapping. That's a clear B site for the side of Boise. Returned by Ems with this Odin every time. You can't help but crack a smile when you see an Odin kill come through. Hunter's Fury in response all the way down that CT lane. Not going to be able to tag up anyone. Still here on a 4v4. Bladestorm online for Sushi. This is a retake the Saints have been looking for a while. Every time Boise's gotten into this position, Boise has pretty well won this out. Let's see if they can find it. Skies shuts down the Blade Storm.
Yeah, looks like this hold is going to come through for Boise. They already have 2 Saints members left. I'm guessing they might potentially call for the Savior. They're going to go for picks, though. Gub is going to find 2. Looks to the 3rd toward market, but Ray Reyna, whatever, sorry for the pronunciation there. Yeah, Ray Rihanna, one of the 2. Either way, they are a round winner. They clutched up. They found the kill over onto Gub. So Boise State dig their heels into the ground, and they finally get that round win. But it is going to be slightly costly. I think they're going to be down 1 rifle this round, with those guys does have the Blade Storm, so maybe we do some swapping over there. The Saints, though, they're going to run back that operator, run back that Odin. It's the last round before half, so spend it or you lose it.
Yeah, it's going to be sort of a reallocation of funds. If anything, you can see Sky is going to just be that one. Sitting on a Spectre here, not going to be the full thing, but of course, as you mentioned, those knives going to be real pivotal here. Is Odin through the wall, though, almost catches out Ems. Sushi, though, knocks out those knives right away, so maybe you should have afforded a little bit more. And Ems, great scan once again, looking for even more. This has been an incredible defensive side for the side of St. Clair, not just because of how many rounds they're winning, but also because of the way they're winning these rounds. Every time you see them start to get a couple kills, they just get them all in the end. Case in point.
One more spike down. That's going to be towards that B site as well. Daimyo forced to use his ultimate just to pick up that spike. Shot down immediately. He does have it, but they know exactly where he used that from. Everyone can just hold this garage you see over towards Tiles. Take a look at Cat. You've got Gub and Caillou looking down Cat at Tiles. Nobody is going to be crossing if they don't know about it. Daimyo, last line of defense here. 1v5 to end the half. What can you cook up?
It's going to be hard to cook when Ems is making a mess in the kitchen. This Odin has been the ultimate turn. Hey, Ems, maybe use the Hunter's Shiri, buddy. You might get a couple shots to the wall there, but honestly, like you said, they have information. They know exactly where Daimyo is playing right now, so it's just a matter of waiting out the time, you know, waiting for him to slowly make his approach. Nice little fake shrouded step there, trying to get the dark cover up toward market, but information has been given. It has been taken. 4 tapping takes him down, and the Saints are going to close out defense with an 8-4 start for us.
Yeah, a little party ult there at the end from Ems, just to make sure that everyone knows he had that up and available if necessary, but of course, great defensive half, and it now just we need to see what St. Clair is able to offer on the offensive side. And of course, in this situation, Caillou with that Gecko going to bring a little bit different flair. You know, you're going to have Wingman able to drop the plant down. You've got some different tools in your arsenal to do so. And that is where I want to see what Boise can sort of bring for themselves, because on that attack, it just felt as if the rounds that they won were incredibly close. The rounds that they lost were a little bit more of a landslide. Yeah. And I think that is what is lending the Saints to feel so confident going into the second half. And I want to see what strategies they decide to pull out.
I mean, you're looking at 5 more rounds. It's definitely pretty doable in your attacking half, to say the least. And like you had mentioned before, a lot earlier, when it was around 6-3, the Saints seem to have just figured out Boise's game plan. Obviously, Boise found the one post plant that was very, very successful. Hold on, there's one in Wine. Sky's able to find one. Gub, quick on that trade. Mosh Pit, look at these lineups coming out from Caillou. A nice little microwave to stall this push, but it's still going to be 4v4 after all is said and done. Boise down a little bit on health, but the Saints, now you kind of have free reign of the map. Where are you going to head to next is the question.
Yeah, we saw Boise play an extremely slow pistol when they were on that attacking half versus the Saints. You know, you go for that early information. At least they get that one-for-one trade. Listen, both Jets are down, so we have a very even fight now the rest of the way. Both of these teams here to round things up. More tapping though with the frenzy. It's going to be good for one. The double swing into tree is going to be good to find that second one. That should be the A site open here. That's going to be plant probably behind this generator default spot just momentarily here. Getting that turret set up toward heaven though. Boise State now going to be alerted to this information. That is going to be a lot of bullets, a lot of utility and traded out. That is going to be a kill to Ems after the dust settles though. Plant will surely come down here, and the Saints are going for some clips.
Yeah, jumping right clicks. I mean, it works out 50% of the time, let's say.
It works 100% of the time.
Yeah, 50, yeah. Exactly. Over, under on jumping right clicks, anyone? Oh, that's a right click and a half right there. Ririana there.
More of a free throw than a jump shot.
Yeah.
This aim just been really good from the Killjoy overall. They're just trying to find anything that they can. They're peeking one by one after the other. And while there's the potential, there's hope. There's no hope. It's all gone. You cope with that one. Ems clears out the round.
A little bit too much damage up there on Heaven. If they could have found maybe, keep in mind, 4-tapping was only sitting around 30 health. 1 or 2 classic shots from that, you could isolate it to a 1v1 maybe, but Ririana just taking so much chip damage from everyone, you know, jiggle peeking, finding one left click, maybe one hit of the right click there, and eventually you're just going to be chipped away. That's going to be pistol round headed to the Saints. 9-4 now. Not looking at too many more rounds to close out map 1 here. You're able to find a bonus as well. We all know what happens when that team wins pistol. This is a call out.
I kind of like this heavy A stack, and luckily for them, this is going to be as open as it gets. I mean, who wouldn't like it? This is the freest site you could ever possibly ask for. Mosh Pit up toward Heaven to delay that Sky from pushing through. It's only Skies in Heaven. This is going to be a nice fast plan, and considering the weapon advantage, the Saints are going to be looking nice and pretty to close this thing out.
Yeah, but look at this flank coming through. There's multiple members out the opposite way, and Ems is currently looking the wrong way now, sort of peeking in on that. It's going to be some right clicks, but not quite enough. Daimyo able to get one, 4-tap and getting another one, but now a little bit of a numbers advantage here. Doesn't matter. 4-tap is good for 3 in that situation. Through the wall, and Caillou clears that out. Great round from the Saints.
I want to know how Sushi gets dinked by the Classic, and that's absolutely turns on him with the Spectre right there. That is why Sushi is your duelist. Sushi is your top frag right now in the game. And doing a little quick dance there, Coach Hybrid on the stage. You know, the one thing I can't say about the Valorant boys, they always give us a bit of a show.
They give us a bit of a show, even when they're not supposed to be part of the show. Yeah. That's the best part.
They don't know they're on. They don't know they're on the camera.
They're like the younger brother that always barges into your room when you're talking to your friends, when you're doing like, "Hey, can I play? Can I play?" They're kind of like, that's like the perfect example I can think of for these guys, man. Like you love them, you know, you love them to death, but you're just like, all right, get out of my room,
you little rascal.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave me alone. I'm trying to play Valorant. I'm trying to get to Immortal. Come on.
You're throwing my games.
For us, it's I'm trying to get to Platinum. We can do it. You know, all that sort of stuff.
Trying to stay out of bronze.
Listen, some games are easier than others, and this one for Boise is going to be rather difficult if they're going to get back into this. Of course, as I mentioned, they have those buys coming through, but this time around there's more economy built up on the opposite side with these plants. This lockdown, though, might just be a little bit of a warning shot. A couple of jump shots there. Good lineups actually, gonna land right on Ririana there. Couple players detained actually, although don't think that's gonna be too impactful unless they're able to chase these down. I think that window is gone as Daimyo finds Caillou on the opposite side.
Daimyo holding it down towards that switch. He's able to find one. Ems finds that trade. Starts moving towards this B site. He's going to be on it with that spike as well, but the Odin coming back to bite. 4-tapping falls 1v2. Ems holding down the site. Shuts down 2. Ririana finds the kill onto Sushi. 8 ammo on Ems right now. Vandal in hand. Has to face 2, but J-Bag with a nice headshot to finish off the round. First one of the half for Boise. Start up the momentum. You pick up an Odin and a rifle to bring over towards this next round. The Saints not hurting for cash, but you still take that if you're Boise.
Yeah, not a bad round. If you're St. Clair, at least they got a couple of those guns ripped away, so you're going to force those members back onto at least some light armor, but it is fun to see all of them kind of giving Ems a taste of his own medicine with that Odin. Like, hey, buddy, anything you can do, I can do better. So you can see that spray down, just so difficult to attack that B site, especially when the Odin is in play. And the Saints' idea, I don't think it was a bad idea. The lockdown got what they wanted at A. It just came down to Daimyo finding the entry pick on Caillou over on the other site and shutting down that play. But the Saints right now, they're trying to get this heavy A play going. They're going to be all up on the A side here, but there is a whopload of utility in the entire Boise State team here.
Yeah,
how many nanos?
Yeah, there's 3 nanos or something here. It's just a whole microwave. You might as well call it the toaster oven there. Ems, though, going to start dropping it down this damage, but Gub and Caillou are ones finding the kills on the site. Skies and Ririana once again in heaven. Daimyo just trying to join them up through tree. Still going to be rather challenging for Boise to get back into this one. Sky 63 HP. That can be random sprayed down as we see there. And now it is down to Daimyo left to defend his land against the strong Saints coming down. What are they going to be able to accomplish? That's the question.
Well,
obviously not a whole lot.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
Oh boy.
That is tough. When you don't kill that dart fast enough and you see that first spring coming, you saw the little acceptance in like his mouse movement. He just stopped. He was like, all right,
die on my
listen,
blade.
there's 3 people left. I mean, it's what are you gonna do, right? You're not quite literally. They have walls on you, and you're just sprinting away, hoping that they don't chunk you down. Yeah, there's not much to do in that situation. Daimyo caught between a rock and a hard place, nowhere to go there. Has to soak the death. Now you're soaking the eco on a round that is going to leave St. Clair on match point here. Keep that in mind. Should they find this round win, it's really going to be up to Skies in this Killjoy as well. Ririana, see what they can do. Got to recover Thrash. Bring it back to yourself.
Yeah, I think that's why he kind of drove it back and forth. Didn't really want to commit it to the site, because yes, you could have got it detained, but if anyone's back in heaven, that is a nice nano. Skies is playing very nicely up in front of this dark cover, though. Could catch Caillou off guard. He will do just that, but 4-tapping will catch wind of that activity. He will take down Skies for his transgressions, but the Saints have this A push slowed down, but take a peek where that spike is. That is all the way over on T side spawn, closer to that B side. So it's either going to get walked over here by Ems slowly but surely, or they're going to link up in mid, maybe try to walk through market, possibly get through pizza. But A looks like it's going to be the choice here. Boise State's had enough time to kind of back off.
Yeah, you can see where some of those members are as well. The KO, the Sova just playing really far back here. They don't want to give any sort of room. Ririana going to sort of detect it out with the alarm bot. Unfortunately, the alarm bot is broken. Immediately, Ririana, though, able to find one back onto Gub, and now the site going to start to get taken over. This Killjoy lockdown, very difficult to contest with. Believe everyone's going to be able to get out in time, but that Aldron's just going to make sure they back all off here. There's just a little nook and cranny over here on Wine, but this is going to be an interesting retake now.
Usually they save those nano swarms to toss into Wine. Nothing left there. As of right now, the defuse is coming down. You have to push out if you're the Saints. They got it. Kill the diffuser. 4-tapping in the 1v2. Sees Daimyo drop the dark cover. Switches up. Get a little bit more ammo. Finds the second. That is match point now for the Saints here in map 1. They're 1 round away from taking Ascent here over Boise in a miracle round from 4-tapping there.
Look at the IGL flexing for us one time. Oh my goodness, that round was absolutely cooked. The Saints were having a nice little wine and cheese party trying to figure out how the hell do we get back onto site. They somehow turned that I believe it was a 4v2 or a 4v3 at the end. They run down Boise State, and they have run down this Eco too. Yes, they have the Blade Storm, but it's 2 Guardians, it's light armor, and it's a lot of hope. And that hope quickly getting dashed 20%. Down goes Killjoy.
Yeah, half of the Guardians are already gone there in that situation. You can see Boise, they're just trying to hang on for their lives here. Once again, shout out to that new skin with the Bulldog, but nonetheless, this is such a quick execute. Gub gonna be traded out with Skies there, and now the opposite Killjoy ult comes the opposite way. Skies, though, able to bring the knives to the gunfight, and this time wins out on it. But once again, Daimyo sorry, not Daimyo, the KO there, living with barely any health, and this is going to be a difficult retake here. You've got 1.1 members left alive. Make that 1.
You don't got a single round to spare. Guardian in hand. Daimyo, you need to hit 3 critical shots right now, but Sushi shuts it down with a 3K. 13-5 is going to be your first map score there. Saints taking it in fairly dominant fashion there. I mean, after those first few rounds, they kind of just figured it out. The Saints, you could see the gears turning. You saw the way they started to change their round starts and their defaults as to how Boise was playing. Even on their defensive side, they just kind of slowed it down a little bit. Boise wants to play default. We'll play default too. We'll win the picks.
You wouldn't believe that game was once 3-3.
Yeah.
And Boise State, I believe they may have been on the winning end of that 3-2 early on. It was just those default plays stopped working to a point. Like you said, the Saints, honestly, it felt like on defense, they got after that 3-3, they got a read on it. They end up finishing the half 8-4. And I mean, that second half, the Saints very clearly had multiple plans. I mean, listen, when that play when they were trapped in wine, escaped 2 nano swarms and all that util and somehow win the round, that was going to be GG. But Boise, again, yeah, there was a lot of close rounds in there. Boise did have some good plays, but I think it took them a little bit too long to get online, and the Saints already had a nice download at that point, and it was already about 10-4. And at that point, you're grasping for straws.
Yeah, and of course, that was Boise's map pick. So we're going to be switching over to Pearl in just a little bit here. What do Boise really need to do to get themselves back into this fun? What are you thinking that what sort of needs to change up in terms of their strategy specifically?
Strategy is a big question because as I was talking about in the pre-show, I haven't seen Pearl in probably over a month here personally. So I'm personally just not caught up on what like the new meta is. Will we see that Phoenix pick? How is Gecko gonna slot into the Pearl meta in that sense? I know
probably Pearl. The thing with Valorant, and this is so. The meta is, there is no meta right now. Besides Ascent, like even watching VCT, EMEA, Pacific, all the regions, I saw like, I've seen Icebox comps, literally 5 different agents on either side. For multiple maps, I've been seeing it. So the meta is still being figured out for Pearl. Astra, 100%. I would expect to see Viper, Astra. Those are kind of your 2 staples. Maybe something like a Killjoy. So the Phoenix definitely could come into play. You might see the Fade, probably going to see the KO. So some amalgamation of those 5 or 6 will probably be present, but it's also collegiate too, right? So if someone's really, really good at a certain agent, they're probably going to play it.
Yeah, that's going to be the main question, to see what agents get picked and if Boise is able to come back on Pearl. Of course, we're going to head to a short break. When we're back, map 2 up for grabs for you.
Here we are getting into Agent Select for Map 2 Pearl. It's been a while since we've seen this one, and look at the picks we're already seeing. Some we haven't seen in a while. There's a Cypher being hovered from the side of Boise right now. We've got a Harbor in the hands of Sushi, of all people.
What is going on with these agents? I don't know what's going on. As you mentioned, the Astra was potentially going to be one of those lock-ins, and yet only one side is. There's the Cypher locked in as well. We've got ourselves the whole charcuterie of agents here. Going to be an interesting one, of course. Welcome back, everyone. More Saints Valorant coming at you. Boise, they're on the ropes here. They're going to be on the attack to open this one out, and it's interesting to see potentially some of these agents they've selected are more geared towards that attacking side, Jobin.
Yeah, and these are most of the agents that I expected to see on Pearl. I did say, or I mentioned earlier too, because Icebox is like the premier Harbor. Like Harbor Viper, the thing with Harbor is that he has to be played as that secondary controller. You need a Viper, you need an Astra to kind of supplement him, really get his kit to work the right way. So the Saints, they're going to offer that. They're going to put 4 tapping back on the Killjoy. And that's what I said. I said it in the break too. Like Josh is saying, like, you know, what necessarily is like meta on Pearl? Teams don't really know. We know a couple agents are still very effective, but you can see both of these teams, very different approaches. We are going to see Skies back over on that Jet on the attacking side. The Saints right now sticking things over on that defense. So right now, a very strong defensive comp. The Sky is going to be one of those mirror agents, but the rest, I mean, looking pretty unique. Should be a very, very fun game.
Yeah, and, you know, the interesting thing to point out as well about these choices, I guess, is just the fact that you went from having Sushi on your Duelist, your Jet, to playing something like a Harbor. It's just a little bit of a switch up there to shows how adaptable these players can be. Same thing goes for Boise in that sense. You had Arena on the Killjoy last time around, now playing the Viper. Different agents, still somewhat similar vibes in that regard, but nonetheless, you can see M's just pushing forward aggressively. The dog gets dodged out. Gotta be real careful about that one. Haven't seen M's play the Sky a whole lot either. This is an interesting switch up as well. Oh my.
Flash, and that's gonna be 2 players. It was Sushi and one other who moved all the way through that spawn of Boise on that attacker's side, and now you found yourself the player advantage. You take them down over towards B site, and you clean up pistol round without a hitch pretty well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start. We are going to see 4 tapping instantly jumping onto that Hero Phantom. Yeah, listen, you're playing Killjoy. Usually you're going to set up everything over on the B site. You're playing that back little tunnel. You're waiting for these members to walk up. And the good thing with this Harbor Viper comp, you have to walk through the Harbor wall, the Viper wall, the Harbor slow, potentially the Nano Swarms, and then you have Gub, blast packing in from off screen. So they have a lot of good variety. They have a lot of different ways to kind of play this comp out. Boise, though, I'm looking for a lot more of an offensive identity this game. Last game on Ascent, they never really had one. All they really did was default, and then it didn't work, and they had nothing else. I want to see if they can adapt this game.
Yeah, we got to see something different. We got to see them pick up the pace a little bit. You can see that they tried to push forward a little bit aggressively there, but the Harbor Wall, very good at sort of shutting down that angle. The Gub's paint shells as well, able to push them all the way back. And now you just see them sort of going back to the sort of slow default style. Granted, still a lot of time left in the round, but it just feels as if Boise don't have that sense of urgency that they always need to have, whereas Saints, they're pushing forward so aggressively. Look at this A site. They're just neck and neck already, though. Sky is going to be able to find one onto Caillou. Sushi trades it right back. Gub coming around the corner. Great flash. Going to find another one. Flashback's even just going to be there. Gets the kill. J-Bag with it. That's not something you see very often. And now numbers advantage to the Saints.
M's full blind here. Enemy Sky going to drop one on him. That Harbor Wall comes back up from Sushi. It's the heal. Going to bring that Viper back to full health. Pepper down by Ems. He's been following this entire time. That's the spike down too. Only a classic. This is not a range battle. You're going to be winning. Has to drop that orb right there, but now you're getting swarmed from 2 sides. A flash about to come through. It's actually not going to land. You can maybe find one here, a dink, but not going to find that kill. Sushi finishes it off.
Yeah, once again, the Saints had the weapon advantage. A nice clean round for Boise. You got a couple kills. That's always nice to try to get 1 or 2 of those weapons taken down. Skies did a good job getting that first blood, something that he kind of struggled with last game. Granted, running into Sushi 1v1 every round, not going to be the easiest way to entry, but he gets himself on the board there. Boise now going to see these rifles get picked back up. Pretty much, light armor across a couple of these members. Got to pay for that Cypher and that Sky util, but now I want to see if they're going to switch the attack. It looks like B is going to be the preference, so maybe they send a couple members through mid, try to scout some info, see if they can spot where 4 tapping might be playing, but the thing the Saints do too, they adapt very well. 4 tapping is now blue sights, and Gub is getting right in there on the action.
Yeah, very early paint shell is going to try and slow them down. And you can see they wanted to try and take that aim tool, but it's 4-stack up B. They're pushing as a unit and leaving the Killjoy alone on the A site. And the thing about Killjoy, she's able to hold down those site solos so well on those defensive sides. Not so much so the Cypher, where, you know, you only have 2 trips in that sense. You have a lot more agency with that Killjoy, especially with that turret, to sort of detect out where everyone is going. Nonetheless, you can see now starting to open up the map a little bit more.
Cage triggered.
Cage gonna try and find a little bit of space for Daimyo, but still doesn't seem as if Boise have really figured out where the Saints are all sitting. And you see that 3-stack once again moving together, power in numbers, as they say.
As of right now, Spike still over towards that B side. 3 players kind of just falling back towards B for Boise. Sky's moving in towards A, gonna bait out a little bit of that Killjoy utility. And now I wonder if these 2 players here, this Jet and this Astra, just start beelining it B. As they say, is this plant gonna come down? There's the wall. Sushi trying to get that spam through, gonna have to reload, and the spike is down.
Yeah, Boise, a very good job there. They played the patience game. They send that, you know, that split stack toward B. They do actually end up finding the plant, so it's a very good start to the round. Aldum still has a full kit of utility as well for tapping, trying to play out of heaven here. Gub has the blast packs though. He's going to get right onto site into the back hall here. Not going to find anybody there. Now he's going to try to find the turn though. He's going to take down Aldum. Saints now have the numbers advantage. That defuse is going to be tapped for just a moment. For tapping is going to bait out Daimyo. Now the Saints have a very, very big advantage. Time isn't going to be of the essence though. Caillou going to swing and find another one. The Saints right now are taking names, and the whole time the defuse is being stuck. They get another flawless. They take down all 5 Boise members on what was supposed to be the eco, and they find that defuse.
Yeah, and they get an upgrade on all those weapons as well. Very well played from the Saints to use those powers and numbers there. And now, of course, forward tapping still able to bonus through again. M's able to bonus through again. Spot up with the shield, I think, was the only thing. The economy for the side of Boise, not in the greatest of states right now. You can see Sheriff's Stingers are going to be just trying to take some of these guns out of their hands, but even still, not going to be the easiest solution for them moving forward. Nonetheless, you can see Boise, they've started to figure out a little bit of what their mojo wants to be. It's more so that it still hasn't really come to fruition, and maybe, you know, you just need Caillou to miss a lineup every once in a while to potentially prevent that one wave from coming down.
Yeah, and I think that Boise State attack is going to be the side I think I would favor with the comp they're playing right now. So they want to try to get off to this hot start on attack. You don't want to fall behind 5-6-0 and really try to play from behind, especially how that first game went. They had a really nice start to that last game. Things quickly fell apart, but now they're going to have another chance. They're going to work up through Art here. Skies with his teammate there. Ems has the pop flash ready, that guiding light. Skies on the Sheriff is going to give himself away. Is going to get blinded behind the box. No, Ems, the pop flash doesn't land, but the headshot is going to. Going to cook this second guiding light. Is going to find that full blind. Gonna have to back off through Arthur, the Astra Well, to slow things down, but the Saints are gonna play this one slow. They have the numbers game.
Yeah, they've got those stronger weapons as well, which affords them so much more space. The only way that they can get shut down is if Sushi is caught staring at the sky. There's a nice little preview of that new CS knife as well. A nice little butterfly knife, curved one. I don't know what it's called.
Are we allowed to call it that? I mean, like, to be honest, it's blatant. Like, it's the same exact style. They've already have another kind of like Battle Song style in the game. Clearly, they're just trying to, you know, get some new fans of this new gritty style. Now though, 4 players, all 4 stacked up. They've moved through Art. They're checking out A. It's gonna be Gub there on this raise. Solo holding this one down, back closer towards that CT spawn.
Wow, 10 seconds left. Aldum is gonna find the swing with the Stinger. So a couple kills to the sky now. That is gonna open up the site to find the plant in. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe see the Divide get invested, but Boise does have the numbers game, yeah, so they are going to use the Divide. You get that thing nice and early in the half. You have the numbers advantage. This is kind of that perfect time to use it. That pop flash was beautiful too. Aldum has 3 on the round though, has the weapon upgrade, does have the Seekers too, but he has a very low health bar. The Divide though is going to be there to block off, but Caillou is going to find that angle. Now it is a 2v1. The Spike though is getting dangerously low. The Snake Bites are going to be there to dissuade this defuse as well. Now they're going to have to try to push Ray Ray into this backside of Art. The pop flash is good. The Sheriff shot is even better, though. Now we're into a 1v1. That is going to be won by Ems. I am not sure he has the time. Might have just, yeah, not going to have the time there. But that was a hell of a round for both squads. Boise, though, they're going to get on the board.
0.67, just over half a second there. Boise takes that one. Rihanna there on the Viper. That's a great just post-plant play. Play your time as the Viper. Use the Snake Bites when you need them. And he even found that kill on to, I believe it was Caillou there, tried to push him on that Viper. And nice Sheriff kill on him as well. take those any day of the week. Especially, keep in mind, that was an eco round. That was Sheriffs. That was, I think we saw a Stinger there from Aldum there, and he was able to pick up a Phantom later on into that round. Now you've kind of flipped the economy around for yourselves if you're Boise here.
And I think the major thing is, you know, the Stinger, it's still got that little pop from range. Got to be careful of it. Gub doesn't actually see this cam right away, is able to shoot it down. But you can see that it isn't wavering the Saints. They're still willing to push forward on this defensive side. Look at the angles that are being held on B long, though, by the side of Boise. They're willing to explore a little bit more space, open up the map for themselves, adjust a little bit more. To what extent is still unknown, as it's still this sort of slow play from Boise. They're willing to wait out the Saints' aggression in a lot of ways. And to be honest, it was a little bit of a worry on Ascent, but on Pro, where you've got a little bit more space that you have to clear out, it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, they do have the Viper Pit in the back pocket and that Neuro Theft, so if they can find one of these Saints caught off guard, they could definitely snowball that into a site take or try to get some kind of execute. But once again, Boise, they're playing this nice, slow default. Basically, I think trying to find out where is 4-tapping, where are the rest of these members split off, what lineup do we have to worry about. Right now, though, 40 seconds left. You do have a lot of time to walk through mid or walk up B long. The only thing is 4-tapping is set up on B, so if this Jet tries to dash into the backside of site, could be dashing into those nano swarms, and those bullets taking down that turret, that's going to be enough info for 4-tapping. Guessing these nanos are going to get procced in just a half second, but it is going to be the site taken for Boise. Viper Pit is down, plant down 2, and now we've got a 5v5 for the site.
This is what it all comes down to. This is the rounds that we love to see, that we watch this Valorant for.
Love to see, I can't see anything.
Can see the Viper Pit here as 4 players creeping inside of it. Daimyo finds the first one, Aldum follows up, 4-tapping drops down from Heaven. Gub's the only one to find one for the Saints so far. 4-tapping continues that trend as right now M's creeping around this Viper Pit, might be spotted out by one, possibly Skies from behind. He's gonna updraft up towards Heaven, possibly drop back down, but now a 1v2 for 4-tapping from both sides. J-Bag finds him, a team ace for Boise, second round in a row.
Able to bag that round up is J-Bag in that situation, and now you can see the economy still okay shape. I want to see if they opt to save this time around. M specifically has a lot of credits, has a great scoreline as well, 7-1 and 6 thus far, but it really depends on how they're going to be able to convert that. Seems to just be a little bit of a Hero Guardian buy. They want to make sure they've got those credits for future rounds. Caillou might pick one up as well, and this isn't going to be the easiest of rounds for Boise to convert on. They got to try and find those picks onto M's and Caillou as soon as possible.
Yeah, and one silver lining for St. Clair. Boise did pop the Neuro Theft. They did use the Viper Pit, so it was a very, very heavy investment. You still took away a couple of those guns at least, so now you're going to try to get the get back here. Gub does have the showstopper. They do have that lockdown to possibly use defensively as well. You just wonder if they're going to want to burn anything considering the weapons. Maybe if they find a pick or two and they get one of these rifles back, they might be feeling some type of way. But Boise, A stack for the time being right now. I'm guessing this A hit's going to come through. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it has been a minute since they've really just executed onto this A site. They're doing it quickly this round. No defaults to be played out here. There's a Killjoy to be dropped from the defending side. J-Bag in mid. A nice lurk. Pick up a 3K in heart. Shut down that lockdown as well. Aldum tearing apart the rest of the site. And that is Boise. A dominant round. Wow. J-Bag.
Yeah, just doing it all, pulling it back in for his team, sort of finding a really strong round. Granted, yes, it was a half buy, an eco round to an extent for the side of the Saints, but still, really good to see them convert on that in that way as well. J-Bag just finding the angle, holding down mid, not scared of that lockdown at all, and finds 3 up mid, and that's an incredible way to get your Astra online. She's one of those agents, we like to call them the dirty agents, likes to get down and dirty, throwing down the smokes. Not really the one that you're going to see fragging out in that situation, but J-Bag says, hey, I'm breaking the norms at this point, almost back up to that Cosmic Divide. Really good looks coming through from Boise here after a slow start to this map.
Yeah, especially, like you said, having that slow start, being down 3-0, and, you know, their first round win was that eco on the Saints. They ended up finding the defuse and everything else, so they've been definitely getting back into this game. This is what you want to see out of this attacking comp that they put together. The Saints, though, those are some pretty good defensive ultimates. That lockdown, a little bit hasty of an investment last round. I probably would have waited, but I don't necessarily hate only using one ultimate per round. Aldum is going to get those Seekers possibly procced and ready to go. The Trailblazer, though, is going to be that first piece of Uto going. Get a spot on those nano swarms, scout out the rest of this site, get those snake bites all pinged down. But once again, B hit looks like it's going to come through. Caillou, though, could potentially use the pit out of Heaven.
They just have the option for that one right now. Just snake bites for stall. losing out on a lot of that toxic counter, though. He's going to have to drop his utility eventually. Well, he's going to come down. Caillou finds the one. Gub's getting in there. Will we see a Rose ult is the question. Spins it around. There's one for the counter. Skies and Aldum. Skies for 2 on the site right now. 3v2 shut down by Ems. Tie it up. Seekers come out from the side of Boise. Returned by Ems. Seeker v Seeker. Shuts one down. Ems with a 3K. And Caillou finishes off that round. 4-3 now. Saints taking the lead.
Yeah, messy, but functional, and that's what I think has defined these sort of comeback rounds for the side of the Saints. You can see them slowing down a little bit, letting their emotions sort of come back to center here in that sense, but honestly, an interesting round. We saw the 5v5 retake, we saw a lot of ultimates used. It did take a lot to get them over the line. Granted, at the end of the day, you get that extra point on the scoreboard. That's all that matters. In Boise, they've still got a decent amount of economy for themselves. Whoever wins this round is going to start to be able to pick it up once again. There's going to be no real loss bonus coming through for the Saints either, so they really want to try and wrap this one up. And tapping with that judge, we've seen this time and time again, Job, and sometimes just able to sit around those corners and find multiple members and then just upgrade to one of those rifles. One way to sort of prevent a push, drop down the pit.
Yeah, usually we see this Viper Pit. Actually, Caillou is going to use it toward mid, so not the most common Viper Pit on Pearl. Usually they play that one up toward the front side of A, or they kind of play it toward that back side of B, depending. But the divide is going to be the answer the other way. NanoSwarm going to take down Sky and tapping, just like you said, finds that first kill with the judge, looking to maybe recover this rifle, but does not want to risk his life to grab it. But that divide being burned and losing one member that quickly in the round, that is a great start for the Saints.
Single dupe there from the judge. He's able to find one. Spike goes down inside the cage over towards A. If you took a look at your mini-map earlier, you would see 3 of these Boise members had pretty much just creeped up A while the Cosmic Divide was down B. Now, Ririana shuts down Sushi over towards that back mid rotation there, and now you've evened out the numbers. Daimyo, does he know there's one on the left? 1-4-1. As of right now, Flash comes through. They haven't spotted out Daimyo. Gub just flies right by. Look at the shots. Tapping shuts him down. You've got player advantage split from both sides here. Tapping finds the one. 3K. Last player alive.
Yeah, only 2 Saints left alive. Tapping gonna try to get the half on this defuse. Maybe he's gonna find the half, but can he find the frag? He finds a couple pop shots through the wall. This timer's getting low though, and Tapping not gonna be able to close that one down. J-Bag will clutch up that round. I believe that's gonna give us a nice even 4-4 scoreline once again. And honestly, a very, very scrappy first half. Messy is a good word to describe it too, but these 2 teams have just been fighting in the pocket the entire game. Neither team willing to give that inch just yet. So I am very curious to see how the rest of this half is going to break down.
Yeah, it's been a heavyweight duel, really. Just, punch after punch. Everyone is able to sort of get their marks there, and J-Bag just sort of holding on to that round, just barely at that. You mentioned got to that half, could have been just as easily a little bit of a stealthy defuse there, but nonetheless, you can see economy isn't in the greatest shape for Boise. They're still going to be able to find a buy here. Saints are going to be the ones sort of aggressing here, trying to just find what they can, take some of this money away. Not going to be the easiest with a bunch of classics and 1 Guardian once again picked up, but slowly but surely pushing up B long. This is an interesting angle for them. We talked about how you want to push this way when you've got the range advantage. This is definitely not the case. They're just trying to stack as many members as possible and push as a unit.
Yeah, send them in. Hope you can just swarm with numbers, win out with those classics. Hope the damage stacks up enough, but as of right now, Boise took that as, there's 5 following us? All right, well, A is most definitely open. Skies finds the first pick there over towards Gub. Here's the one Viper player here, Ririana. Gonna be coming into a few. Skies also tosses out the rest of the knives. Still has a few in the back pocket. Will they be able to find one with this Vandal here? Chunked down by a few snake bites all around. You can't really peek out. Your vulnerable 7 health finally falls to 1, and now that's going to be a recovered rifle as well. 1 player up, and the heals come through from Caillou.
All of a sudden, this round is starting to look a little bit scary for Boise State. They have 2 members left alive. The Saints got some weapons too. J-Bag is going to get pop flashed, but the swing is going to come through. The trade is going to be found. The Harbor Bubble to protect this defuse, but Daimyo, he's on the flank. He's about to enter Harbor Bubble. Wants to get the personal space, but Sushi there for the answer, and you heard it from the announcer. That is a thrifty to the Saints. They recover 2 or 3 weapons at least that round. That is a massive round, and there's Owen.
Yeah.
I almost just witnessed 4-tapping get left hanging for about 10 seconds straight, or Sushi get left hanging by 4-tapping for like 10 seconds straight, but you know, you gotta give those land bumps when you're up on stage. Timeout to come through from, believe that's Boise's side there, as Saints back up 5-4. It's been 1-for-1 every round, like scrappy as you called it, messy as you called it, Adam. As of right now, I'm thinking, I don't want to call it inexperience, but I think it's just most likely the lack of like play time in, say, official matches, or you know, when you really try to put it all on the line. Yes, you can scrim, and yes, you can practice these maps as much as you want, but you're really gonna show your experience, your comfort on the map when you come up against a strong team. When you're moving into round of 16 NACE playoffs, that's when it's really gonna show. And as of right now, both of these teams looking fairly even, just back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, it's been a challenge for either one of these teams to really eke out much of an advantage on this map specifically. We were able to see the Saints sort of run away with it in the second half of the first half, the second quarter, I want to say, for themselves before they were able to eventually just find themselves the map win here. But of course, they are the ones who picked Pearl here, and maybe going up against a little bit more resistance. Granted, we'll use the stats that we've used for a while, specifically Jobin and I, in saying that Pearl is more of an attacker-sided map. We've always been wrong about it every single time, because we'll just see the defense drop 60-70% win rate on that side. It really begs the question if that's going to be more of the attacker side this time around, and if these 4, potentially 5, potentially even 6 rounds for Boise are just par for the course, or if when Saints flip the script, it is just going to be a little bit more dominant here. So nonetheless, yet to be determined.
Yeah, and Pearl is kind of taking the spot of Fracture. Look at Caillou, gonna get that space taken. Lockdown is going to be invested from the Saints though, so they're gonna try to dissuade this B push. The rest of these Boise members though, they've already worked toward taking some space up toward mid. It's gonna be all the timing. Oh, Ems! That was a nice little one tap there. That is a full blind, and he finds that second kill. That is a perfect timing from Ems through mid. He's gonna get the Seekers as a reward as well. Gonna send those out, try to gather some information. They're gonna spot out Daimyo there. At the very best though for the Saints, they have stopped the push. However, Neural Theft is going to go through, and I think they're gonna realize that B is looking pretty juicy.
B is looking mighty, mighty free here for the side of Boise. And as of right now, Saints waiting to 4-man group up over towards their own spawn and then head towards this B site. Yeah, Daimyo on this Cypher. Gonna be the first one to really meet any of these Saints players. A 1-for-1. As of right now, with player advantage, the Saints will take that. Last 2 members alive though, it's J-Bag and Ririana. These are the 2 players who have been the post-plant rocks for Boise so far.
And you know, they just need to trade up. That's what the Saints need to do. But J-Bag finding a little angle. This Viper wall, though, just about to drop. This could be detrimental. There's 1, there's 2 picked up by J-Bag. There's 3. My goodness, able to find it behind that Viper wall. We were anticipating it. We were all looking for it, and it happens exactly as planned. As Boise, once again, they're putting up a fight. They're scrapping in this one still.
And that's one of those times where you can see how big that Boombot nerf was to Raze, because normally that would have cleared that back hallway completely, but only having that 5-second timer, J-Bag is able to position himself perfectly in front of that box between the Viper wall and the one-way, avoids the Roomba, gets behind the entire Saints team, and then just like he has done, honestly, 3 or 4 times already this series, completely rips them to shred with a nice spray transfer. And now we see, I believe it's Caillou stuck to that pistol on the Viper. The rest of these members, I believe, are going to have good weapons at least, but Boise, again, it's just back and forth with these 2 squads.
Yeah, keep an eye on J-Bag for the rest of this game. This guy has been putting out just 2-3Ks that are super impactful for these rounds, whether it be to finish off the round itself or just to put Boise in such an unlosable position.
They're
in
always
the round.
clutch time.
Yeah, it's super, super clutch from J-Bag. Very, very impact frags coming out from the kid right now. And Skies over towards mid. Once again, Boise looking towards A. They like to start a lot of their rounds towards this A side and just keep the spike carrier all the way towards the back. Now they get to play out based on intel here. You do have the Cosmic Divide available for wherever you decide to make this execute on in the end, but your time's starting to run out. 45 seconds. You've played your default for long enough. Now, gotta make your choice here.
And granted, this has worked out better for Boise this time around on the attacking side. They've been able to afford themselves a little bit more space and be able to play more of map. As we mentioned, bigger map, more opportunities to sort of open everything up. This Astro Wall, though, it will open up most of B site for them. Pushing forward, very quick plant here. Time, though. Oh, that's a decent one. Oh, this the paint shells were actually able to find it.
Took a long time for those to explode.
Yeah, Gub didn't fire a single shot for that one, just threw all the util out for it. Nonetheless, 5v4 situation. Interesting angles here for the Saints. They're going to have to try and play carefully around this one, but Sky's holding down exactly where that spike is expected to be.
Yeah, the Harbor Bubble might be coming into play here. It is going to be popped. They didn't really plan for this. Actually, they did, in fact. The defuse is going to be stopped at the Astra well. Just enough there. 4-tapping, and Sky's going to trade when the defuse is going to be stuck to the halfway mark. That is a triple spray from Skies. However, the rest of Boise will follow through. Once again, it is a 3K on a spray transfer. Only a half defuse for St. Clair and Boise State right now. Looks like they're going to more than likely be walking in with a 7-5 lead. They do have the ultimate advantage, and they do have that weapon advantage as well.
It's not a bad buy. They've got some tools. Sushi got the judge this time.
They're one off the
around.
Viper pit too, is Boise though.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that Boise are going to be holding the advantage here, but look at some of those ultimates on the opposite side. 2 away from Caillou's Viper pit, 1 away from Gub's Showstopper. You've got the Reckoning coming down in a couple rounds as well. I want to see how they opt to play this one, because I think this time around they want to pick up the pace. They want to fight on their own terms. And this spy 4-stack through mid coming back around the side of Boise might just be their play, but those Seekers about to snitch them all out.
Yeah, also gonna be this tripwire as well. J-Bag staring down this eco buy from the Saints could be detrimental unless they shut him down prior to the first headshot, because we've seen what happened before. 1, 2, make it 3. I told you to keep your eyes on him, and he is showing out in the first half here. About to make this a 7-2 for Boise, not unless Caillou and 4-tapping have anything to say about it.
In the most respectful way possible, somebody go check J-Bag's PC, because I don't know what is going on with these flicks, these spray transfers. Not a bullet is going wasted. Literally 3v1, it's like you could smell deja vu. He's been in that spot before. 17 kills in the first half, playing the Astra. 17, 6, and 2 in 12 rounds. And now you're going to go over onto that defense, which you're going to have, I think, a little bit of an easier time with that Cypher and that Astra trying to lock things down. The Saints, though, Sky Rays, 2 fantastic initiators, 2 great engagement pieces. Using that Harbor and that Viper, they're going to really have to have some creative setups here to get back in this game.
Yeah, and my main question just comes down to what was talked about in that timeout, because obviously they had to just get their pep up a little bit. Boise winning all 3 rounds afterwards. Meanwhile, Saints just going to trade around some skins and make sure they've got the ones that they want, but seems like an early B push. I want to see how they change the tempo of this game, because Boise play very slow. Saints like to play a little bit more aggressive. I want to see that translate over on the attack, because that is where they can potentially punish the fact that Pearl is so large. You push a site really quickly, it takes that extra 2-3 seconds for the rest of the defenders to rotate over, and those 2-3 seconds could be everything that she wrote.
Flies in, it's Hems there. Able to spot one out in the back. The paint shells good from Gub. As of right now, Gub with this utility has had very good success in terms of kills. Another one to be picked up in pistol round. Flood onto the B site, and they find nothing but success here. Plant comes through. 5v2 for the post play.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see out of the Saints, is get on this early pistol round, decide what you want to do before the round, go execute on that strategy, try to get this first round under your belt, because then you can try to push for that 7-7 scoreline. It's all on Aldum, though. I guess he theoretically has a chance here. Just a Sky in her guiding light. Is going to find the flash. Gets a little bit of himself, too, but 4-tapping is going to fall. The Frenzy looking to find a second one. He's going to do it. Yes, that's nice and all, but that's going to be pistol over to St. Clair. They're going to cut this lead down to 1.
Yeah, well played from them to sort of play to their style. And I think that is what has been indicative of this matchup. Boise are willing to play slower on the attack, but it doesn't work out so well for them on the defense, where they want to hold those angles for the extra couple of seconds. Now, Saints going to be going back to their old tricks. You know, they've won all of the pistol rounds, if I remember correctly. They've been great at picking up those sort of 50-50 rounds that we so often see, where pistols, you can never really tell who's going to come out on top. This time around, though, it is a massive upgrade for them to just get effectively 4 free rounds, and then 4 free rounds after that with the anti-ecos. It has been one of those difference makers for the Saints. It just means that, especially on Pearl, they've got to match in terms of the gun rounds, because Boise has bested them thus far. Of course, once again, we get to see a little bit of a stack as Skies.
That is a mean Marshall shot right there. That's how you start off a round, especially on that defensive side.
I was just about to give Boise a little bit of grief for leaving Skies all by himself, but apparently he's got this. Yeah, he's got it locked down. Oh, he's got it more than locked down. He's got 2 Saints in the grave already on this eco round. Caillou is going to find the plant, but it's a 5v3, and Skies is not missing a single bullet. Wall bang headshot. They're getting more impressive by the shot. That is going to be a swing wide on ramp. J-Bag and Rihanna taking down Ems, and now it is a 3v1 all of a sudden. It's all going to be on Gub here. He's got 3 of these members to fend off, trying to find the first one. He will not be able to. That is a phantom kill for J-Bag. That is an early defuse for Boise, and that is a very, very bad sign for the Saints.
This is like worst case scenario. You just gave J-Bag a rifle.
It was 1v5 on ramp.
Way earlier than necessary. Skies. That's how you hold down a site solo. Reposition, reposition, reposition. That is like Jet's motto right there. Plays it out perfectly, results in a nice little 3K. Keep in mind, that's a round they have no right to win.
It was 1v5 on B.
Even just with the buys, Saints 1 pistol. You're essentially like almost egoing out that Marshall. You're like, okay, maybe a few of them aren't gonna have armor. I can find these like body shots, you know, possibly a headshot to start off the round. Skies finds 3, because why not?
Yeah, you know what? Call the Jet on Boise, Jace, because you went to the skies with that one. 3 kills on the Marshall. You know I had to get one of those in there at some point. You can hear them. This is what I get. You know, we get the TriCast.
You can feel my disappointment.
I get to disappoint both of them at the same time. This is perfect. I love TriCasting. This is great. Of course, St. Clair not really loving their situation right now. Now on the offensive, with these weaker guns, they've just got to try and take these close quarter fights, because you see the Frenzy picked up. You see him bring a couple of sheriffs. You're not going to have the best weaponry here. You just want to take some of those rifles back and maybe just thrifty back the opposite way.
Yeah, going to be fair, we've casted enough collegiate games where teams win rounds. They should have no business winning, and for tapping, maybe should have put the knife away while W keying towards site there, but Gub is going to get the job done. They're going to find a nice early plant as well, and they actually have a numbers advantage, and Gub picks up the Vandal, takes down Rihanna. So, just as we said, boys, how quickly the things they change. The Saints have taken control of this site. They have a massive numbers game. 2 Skies, though, we know how dangerous he has been this entire game. That is one more kill onto Gub. Cloudburst hops off the defuse for just a moment. Second headshot. These Boise boys are absolutely frying right now. Gonna get tagged up there. The defuse is gonna be stuck to halfway, though. The Saints have to make a move here. Defuse does get stopped, but the double kill for Daimyo. So many rounds. Boise pulls it out of thin air time and time again, and they work their way to a nice scoreline in the process.
Crazy stuff coming through from Boise right now, and you can feel their momentum has sort of shifted a little bit here. It's, you know what, it's exactly what we expected of collegiate Valorant at this point. You know, we've got some thrifty straight back and forth. You got the map picks. You know, Boise picked Descent. They lose 13-5. Now, St. Clair picks Pearl, and it's not the nicest of situations despite the scoreline. Nonetheless, we've got our full gun rounds coming through. But Skies, you thought they were good with the Marshall. Now you don't even need to hit the head. You'll still kill him.
Daimyo even spots one out over towards this A. Gub has to remove that one. They know at least 1 or 2 are there. Obviously, you've got these defaults being played from both 4-tapping and Caillou over towards mid. Hold a little bit down. That turret from 4-tapping should actually hold down most of mid there. Just slowed back down. Gub still waiting over there towards A. Possibly see if anyone wants to peek out, but Saints looking towards this art.
Very slow push so far. There's the Harbor Alto, so they're going to try to get over onto this site. Bladestorm potentially in the works for Skies if he decides to use that one. But Paint Shell's going to stop the rotation from Album there. He's going to get tagged by that crash as well. Going to be stunned up a little bit. There's that crashing wave, though. The Saints are going to go for the move here. Caillou is going to find that first kill. They have control of the site once more. Harbor Bubble is going to be down for that plant. So, plant will come through safely, but they got Daimyo to worry about on the back line. Luckily, though, for them, only 1 will come out of that spray transfer. Gub does have the showstopper now, but Skies, he was good on the Marshall. How's he going to be on this operator? Turns out he misses the first shot. Gub on the showstopper, trying to zone off these last 2 members. Rosa Alt number 2, but it was a zoning tool.
And Josh is celebrating because he pulled the over on that one.
Over 1.5 on the Rose Alt.
Yeah,
right
there we
Cashed
go.
Out.
Got the line, and now Rihanna just going to back off. Not really a whole lot of tools to deal with here. J-Bag as well, just going to make sure the economy stays.
Oh, no one before this time, J-Bag, huh?
Apparently not.
I think he could do it.
Honestly, he gets in the right spot. I actually would believe he could do it.
I mean, there's just something about this man's spray transfers where it's you know, you talk about Valorant sprays, there is a bit of RNG to them. Somehow this man just clicks the heads after that fourth bullet right there.
He created the code. He is John Riot in that situation.
He can smell the spray.
The J&J bag literally stands for John Riot.
He closes his eyes and visualizes the bullets entering his opponents as he runs across the map. But
he materializes.
Yeah, he astral projects the bullets. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's the one with his crystals on his mouth.
Positive vibes and crystals. Yeah, exactly. That's the new final mouse. The
the crystal. It actually, it aligns your chakras too while you play.
Yeah, it aligns your martial headshots too. But the Saints, now we're going to see this fast B hit once again. Looks like it's going to be Boise though, making a decent read on it. They have the double wall lineup. It looks like they're getting that rotation on. Saints once again though, I would like to see this fast B hit come through.
I want to see them pick up the pace a little bit because, as we mentioned, they got to play their style. And Boise's style, slow, St. Clair fast. That's how it works. It's how it happens whenever American drivers come to Canada. They see the speed limit. Hey, it says 100.
Yeah.
Oh, you converted it the wrong way. Nonetheless, as we expected, fast plant, fast Viper ult. Very difficult retake situation. We saw Boise really thrive in the Viper ults when they were given the opportunities. But unfortunately, 4-tapping is going to be tapping out of this one with Sky's knife to the face.
Now, Skies, he gets the reset on those knives as well. He spots out Gub. A trade, actually, 1-for-1. Ems from the back is able to find that. Kindle in hand. Seekers fly right past him as he gets that flash. Spots out one, spots out the other. Can't shut him down. Skies, half blind, still finding it. 2v1 now. Sushi in the back shut down. Boise hitting double digits on the scoreline.
The Saints, it's time after time. Oh!
They've got time.
Oh, they had a pixel, a fraction, a nanosecond, basically. But time after time with this Boise squad, they're finding different ways to keep clutching up these rounds. The Saints had first blood, they had the Viper pit, they had the plant, and it all falls apart. It was a very nice 2 or 3 man flying through the backside of that B-side ramp. Skies gets one on the blades. The rest of the members do a great job. And once Caillou falls and that pit falls, that was that main defense tool off the table. And now, Boise State, Viper pit of your own, neural theft as well. The Saints right now, they have the Seekers. They're not really that close to anything else. The lockdown will be around sooner than later. Yeah, the rest of these also pretty far away, so this next round is big.
Yeah, and a major thing as well is just, it feels as if because we haven't seen Pro so much, we don't expect teams to know how to play it in that sense. And it feels as if Boise maybe had a couple of scrims on this map. We're just testing it out saying, hey, what if they pick this map? What if it is one of these teams' A1 pick? And in this situation, as you mentioned, it's a little odd to see the Saints pull it out. Maybe it was more of an ego pick than anything, and now getting punished in kind. Granted, still a possibility for the Saints to get back into this. They just really need to tighten their offensive capabilities up here, as Boise have been great on both sides of the map thus far.
I just think the one thing with Pearl has taken the spot of Fracture. Fracture used to be the map that teams would avoid. They didn't want to scrim. They didn't want to play. Pearl, I think, is now in that spot. So Boise probably had something cooked up. Gub does cook up first blood. Going to be a 1-for-1 trade back, and now it's 4v4.
Skies in the back cannot find a break with this utility. That's going to be player advantage headed over towards the Saints. Drop that Harbor ultimate as well. Spots out Daimyo, spots out Ririana here. They're just waiting, moving out of the way here. Now you get to make this push as your Viper Wall comes back up. All the way into back halls. Aldum takes a little bit of chip damage, but this spike is ticking away. Sushi shuts down Ririana on the way in, and now you've got 2 players back of sight, kind of just locked down. You can't really opt for the save at this point. Aldum finds one back, but you're still in a 1v3 with the spike ticking away.
Going to be a challenge at the best of times here, but Aldum might just opt to back out of this one. Granted, that wall's not going to provide them a whole lot of space. Sushi gets a 4K, gets them away from this round, saves the gun as well. And that was a good recovery from St. Clair. They go for a fast plant. They're able to play their pose plant. And you see how well it works out when they're able to play towards their strengths. They play towards these sort of crossfires, these aim duels. And now all of a sudden, despite Boise having a lot of momentum, they're out of money. They're out of cash. They're going to have to dig deep into the bank account to pull up whatever they can. It's 2 Stingers, a Sheriff, and a whole lot of lucky headshots. At least that's what they're hoping.
Yeah, this round is going to be big for Boise as well because the Saints did burn 2 of their bigger ultimates to secure that round. Boise has a little bit of money. If the Saints can keep 4 of these guns around, the next round will almost certainly be a freebie. It's on Boise to try to find a way to get the Neural Theft going, get the Viper Pit, try to get Skies going. Maybe the 2-man swing is going to be enough, though. They're going to upgrade that weapon, so it's going to be a nice 1-for-1, but at the expense of the A site.
Yeah, they leave that one free, and that's the play you have to make, though. When you're on that eco, we've seen the Saints do the same thing on their defensive side. You have lower weaponry, make a push, try to recover something for yourself. Now you have one of the stronger players on your team with a Vandal in hand looking to move towards this retake, but luckily, you get that info about that push early. You know that that A site's going to be nice and clear and free, and now the post plant is set up from the Saints.
J-Bag walking forward, just right into the crossfire there. Sushi is traded out, though. It's trades up once again for the side of the Saints. They have time on their side here, in a sense. Gub going to toss down a blast pack as well, and right into the meat shredder goes Gub, actually. Everyone going to get their ones, though. Ems clears it up, and now Saints making it interesting, get to 9.
Yeah, keeping 2 members alive as well, definitely going to help, because at this point, the Saints' money is starting to build decently enough where if they can take another round or 2, they'll be able to buy out the rest of the way. But this round for Boise is going to be the round to try to take this lead, try to take that 2-round lead back. Yeah, the glass cannon operator is back. Again, still have yet to find a vital time for the Viper Pit and the Neural Theft. They've been sitting on it for, I think, 4 rounds apiece now, and especially that Neural Theft. That's a 6-point ultimate. You want to try to get some use, maybe even that round, right? They found the first pick at B. Maybe you go send that Cypher over, try to get the scan, and then try to time it out. Otherwise, but Skies, they're finally going to punish. That is the biggest weapon down and one of the best players.
Now you get to drop that Arbor once again as it moves onto the site. The creeping death there of that ultimate. Gub blast packs in. No utility left for Gub, but he makes his one. He makes that entry, and he clears out the space. That's all you're asking for from your Raze. Daimyo finally makes that trade back on to Gub, but Gub, he's like, I've served my purpose in the round so far. Daimyo good for 2. M shuts him down, ties it up, 10 apiece, and St. Clair found some momentum on their attacking half.
Coming alive, finally, bringing a little bit more life into their attacking side, and as you mentioned, Jobin, the money is going to start to become an issue for the side of Boise. You don't really have that much wiggle room.
One more buy after this if you lose.
Yeah, one more buy. Maybe they're able to scrap together something decent with the loss bonus as well, but that's where it really gets testy there. And you can see Ems sitting above 5K. Caillou very close alongside 4-tapping there. It's really only Gub that you have to worry about there, but even then there's more than enough to reallocate funds once again for an extra rifle if necessary. It's more so I'm worried about the Thrifty. If Saints get thrifted here, then their money starts to go down a hole, and it's all of a sudden Boise who are the ones who are leading the charge. But once again, great play around the Cypher's own cage. Gub says, hey, I was low on money. Let me just get a little bit more there.
Listen, we needed a good old Raze 3K, and that is at the perfect time. And I talked about the ultimate so much earlier. You're trying to basically play off timing and cooldowns of the ults, because now if you're Boise State, that 3-round window you had with good guns and the ultimate advantage, the Saints have built all the way back to all 5 ultis basically. So now you're down in weapons, you're down in ultimates. You've already lost the plant over at B. I mean, this round is already over. There's 2 members that are lurking with Sheriffs. They're not going to be able to find maybe one exit frag. The Saints, though, to be fair, true, it's literally J-Bag and Skies too, so I really shouldn't say anything, but I have faith the Saints will close this one down. Just play off the turrets, play for time, and just try to make sure you play for these trades if they do find one of these picks.
Yeah, apparently all it takes is for one of the Saints, Gub specifically in this moment. Skies, hold on, last second, Skies, Stinger, and the classic. Will he clean up the round? No, but what he is going to do is bring much more than a Stinger into that next round for his team. Picks up a Phantom for his troubles and 2 kills. Skies can be happy with that save in my opinion, but going back to earlier, I guess it's just, all it takes is Gub to, you know, just pull a J-Bag move on Boise themselves, find a 3K off the rip, and now the rest of the round just opens up. Second timeout from Boise here.
And makes sense at this point. You got to try and cool it off. You've got a couple more rounds left in the tank, but this also gives Saints a chance to sort of figure out what they want to do for their final push. 2 more rounds necessary for them, 1 more round to secure overtime, but you know that they aren't talking about overtime. They're talking about ending this game. We mentioned off the top, Boise is a strong team. You can never count them out, even when you think that you've got them down. You think you've got them down with that knockout punch. It isn't always going to be that case, but of course, if you have rounds like that coming through from Gub, if you have performances like you are having from Ems to sort of initiate, find kills, find everything that you need, that is what you need, especially as you get yourself across the line. So you can see Owen just sort of cooling off the boys, telling them, hey, listen, we've got this, just got to play our game for another couple rounds.
And just a, I guess a precursor here, a moment of silence to the observer the next 2 rounds, because there are 8 ultimates on the board. 2 of them are Vipers, and 1 of them is going to be Astra. So we're going to be in for an absolute fiesta of colors and colorful explosions. And Boise, now you're at the point, you're going to have that buy once more. You have got to find something with one of these ultimates.
Essential.
The only thing is, too, though, that Viper Pit is awesome. The Showstopper is kind of the counter to the Viper Pit. Usually, the Neuro Theft is a good one, too. Hunter's Fury, not as bad either. But that Showstopper does not discriminate whether you can see somebody or not. It only knows boom. And if the Saints can find the timing and find that window, they could shut down a key piece of utility. Right now, though, B-site looking like pretty open besides some util. Saints all stacked up there right now.
Yeah, he's got all 5 over here.
I like this, though.
That creep in harbor wall, I love the way it just pushes forward, makes a space for you. Insta Showstopper to start it up. He moves up into heaven as well. Gub, you turn left quickly, you can possibly find one. Sky shuts him down. 3rd Showstopper with no dice, but it does give the space and give the time to get that plant. But now you've got 5 ultimates on the board in return from Boise. Caillou finds the one onto Daimyo. This is what you got to play for. You got to play for your picks where you can.
Just have to try and find whatever you can. As you mentioned, lockdown is online. Gonna buy them a lot of time, and this is essential here because time is of the essence. Boise have been great when they're able to take the fights on their clock. One actually gonna be detained at the back there. It's all of them, so gonna be down a member, but Skies once again finds another one here, pushing forward into multiple members. Caillou able to rotate it back. All of them gonna find one, as is Reina. And now all down to 4 tap, and the IGL, the captain, El Capitano, has to hold the line, and he will be able to do so. It's actually going to be an extra member going down at the end there, J-Bag, and now the money's going to be a little bit of a worry for the side of Boise. They've got enough to scrape it together.
They've got a force, and Skies has a Blade Storm. Here's the thing about Skies' Blade Storm. This whole series, right, because he played Jet in that first map as well. He has had rounds where the Blade Storm has been the reason that Boise has won. He's also had rounds where it's definitely missed the mark. I'm not going to lie there, Skies. You're playing fantastic, don't get me wrong, but you've had definitely some Blade Storms there that have left some to be desired, to say the least. Gub, though, I mean, the Saints have figured out, all right, our rounds are working out when we move very, very fast, and now this Viper Pit, kind of the check to that speed as of right now, and Boise putting it all on the line in this last round.
And that's what I didn't understand. You're playing defense with Viper. You can invest this pit, and it's a good pit. Literally at any point the previous 6 rounds, they're finally going to start this investment. But if the Saints were to lose this round, they're going to have the ultimate advantage by a wide margin.
Wow.
The Harbor Ult, though, they're going to contest this Viper Pit. They have no respect for this. Gub going to throw the paint shells. He's getting decayed into that Astra Well, though. The tripwire and the Wombo combo. He's going to get taken down by the headshot. So Boise State, they are digging their heels, and they know this is that heavy investment. They're going to do their best to keep this A side alive, but I wonder if the Saints maybe try to go for a fake here. There is still 1 member over on A to scout things out. The Saints might try to work through mid, but J-Bag has been the lurk monster this game, and he is in a fantastic spot once more.
Caillou needs to win that, will win that in that situation. One major thing about
they got the pit.
It takes away the pit from the side of Boise on that A site. Now everyone, turn and tail, running over to B site. Timing is of the essence. You can see them trying to pick up the pace. Saints should get on the scene first here, but will it be enough?
Got the pit.
Caillou gonna drop down a pit of their own there. They heard that wire as well, I believe, but look at this. Time is running out. You have to try and find this. That tripwire catches one. Sushi gonna go for that plant. Believe they dropped down the bubble as well. Did not. The plant doesn't go down. 8 seconds left. They're still fighting in the pit. Boise going to clutch it up with a 4K from Aldum. And it just was a little bit too late for the side of the Saints there to find that final push. And now they're looking down potentially overtime, because I looked at Caillou. He's going to be able to put together a buy there. But that was in their hands, and they just seem to have fumbled.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, 5 ultimates invested from Boise there. They had everything possible on their team to throw down in that round, and they used it. Yes, they did win pretty handily at the end. There were obviously a 4K from all of them, but as of the start, they burnt a lot of resources just to find one pick and push the Saints off of that A side. The neural theft really was the crux of that round. The insta-rotation after that neural theft let them set that up, let them get closer and get into just slightly nicer positions when that Viper pick came down from the Saints.
That's why I like to see that neural theft. I mentioned it the round before. The neural theft is kind of that great counter, and that's why finding that early pick and that extra 3-4 seconds that bought them honestly meant the difference between winning and losing. Getting that plant down and not Gub is going to send out that little blast pack. Ems did get the orb, did grab the Seeker, so they're going to have a very, very strong engagement tool if they decide to end up hitting this B site. It looks like that is going to be the play. Gub trying to make some noise over on A. He is drawing the attention of 2 of these members. Is going to have to be careful, though. Not going to want to go down too early, but Seekers are going to get popped now. Boise's got a pretty good idea where it's coming from.
Yeah, Gub's already moving out of there. You see Boise insta-rotation from the whole side. Gub, he tried to catch one off mid, it looks like, not able to do that. Spike's going to go down towards A. No bodies hit the floor yet.
No waltz either.
Gub, first one, finds that on the rotation. Gub is in a tricky spot for Boise to try and work around here. Caillou finds one, Ririana with the trade. Now, 2 players up from the Saints. Healing comes out onto Sushi as well. This could be the round. It's match point for the Saints, and Gub finds his second of the round. Riviana still on site. That's going to be a nice little snake bite to shut down Gub. Spray through the smoke there, and Ems finds the final kill of the series. 2-0 here in the NACE Starleague playoffs. Round of 16, Saints moving into that round of 8 matchup.
Yeah, continuing their playoff dominance. The Rocket League team, the Valorant team, the Call of Duty team, every single one of our teams running through these NACE brackets. Like you just said, from top 16 to top 8. I'll tell you what, they had to earn this victory today. That map pick of Pearl, that was a very, very spicy situation. And credit to Boise, honestly, because the way Pearl had kind of started, well, Pearl, to be fair, was a lot more back and forth the whole time, but having your map pick ascent go so wrong, battling back on Pearl, they were up 10-7, I think, at one point in that game. The Saints won, I think, 5 unanswered, end up pulling that one back. But honestly, I think it just comes back to could have probably used that Viper Pit 1 to 2 more times to kind of use that as a defensive stopper. The neural theft, once they finally used it, was so good. But just the story of Boise today was really good game plan, really good execution, but sometimes it was just a little bit too late. Because, right, to be fair, if J-Bag and Skies don't get, what, 7 3v1s, how many rounds are they actually pulling out of that map?
Yeah, a lot of clutch performances coming through from Boise, but unfortunately their season ends there, at least for NACE Starleague. Of course, we mentioned their CVAL season is over as well, so Boise, they really wanted to get that one in the bag. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do so, but of course, that does wrap up our broadcast for today. We'll get to see some more Saints of Valorant down the line as well. More NACE coming down the pipeline as well. Some more CVAL as well for them this weekend, but nonetheless, that wraps it up for us. We will run the replay reel, of course, but from myself, Fundy, and Jobin, all 3 of us all together, the 3 amigos here.
I love this camera shot, by the way.
Thank you all for
honestly,
coming through. It was
great. I like it's a cozy corner we got over here.
We've got a great corner, and of course, we'll catch you next time on the Cozy Corner.